All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here tonight. I hope everybody is doing fine out there. This is the Information Man Show, baby. I'm going to get into it tonight. I just want to let everybody know I had to postpone the interview with Mr. 1950. He reminded me that we had scheduled it for August the 8th, next Sunday. So next Sunday, come on back over here and join me with Mr. 1950. We're going to get into male talk. We're going to get into what is manhood, rites of passage, the things that we need to do as men today in the 21st century when it comes to the ideas of masculinity, what it is to be a man with this world changing the way it is today. And if you are new to my channel, go ahead and check me out right here and go ahead and subscribe. Hit the bell of notification if you can, because I definitely would appreciate that, ladies and gentlemen. If you could go ahead and do that, that would be wonderful. So everybody in the chat room is glad to see we got DOD in the house. Let me look over here on my other computer right here. So we got DOD in the house. Golden Melanin. I'm going to keep an eye out on what's happening in the chat room as I can periodically. I want to get right to the point. So what I'm going to get into today is the fact that, look, it's no secret. We all know that there has been an attack on young black males. And when you really think about the attacks that have taken place when it comes to black men and black women being mistreated, in particular black men, when it comes to being mistreated out of here in these streets by cops and what have you, there's a baseline for why this is happening. There is a reality, and it all starts, and I got the numbers, the statistics. There's been research on this, ladies and gentlemen. The fact of the matter is it all starts at the preschool. Can you believe that? The preschool level, ladies and gentlemen, the preschool level, and that is the truth. So this is where police get their disposition towards black males as we grow up. It all starts when we are little kids, preschool level, elementary school, junior high school. I'm going to lay out the data for you tonight. Another area that I want to definitely focus on is schools, because that's where, and I'm going to turn something down a little bit here. We got the funky music in the background there playing, and I always like that. So in the school system, that's where the racism, the front line of racism and bias and racial bias and mistreatment of young black males, that's where it all starts. That's where we are characterized as hyperactive, out of control. And there are studies that show that when they deal with young black males, they do not look at them based on their chronological age. They misage young black males. They look at them as they're older. And it's a difference in how our white counterparts are treated, white boys are treated versus young black boys are treated when there's an idea of misbehavior. And what they've done they've done some studies to show that even teachers, white and black teachers, because we are culturally conditioned in American society, because in America, we are culturally conditioned to see white as superior, black as inferior. And as a manifestation of that cultural conditioning, we will underestimate, undervalue, and marginalize. Black people will be marginalized by the larger society. And then we buy into that cultural conditioning, and we will contribute to that cultural conditioning. Everybody out there listening, if you can hear me, please let me know if you can hear me. If the audio is sounding just fine and crispy, just put a 1 in the chat room. I'm not broadcasting through StreamYard today, so I can't put the words and the things that people are saying on the screen, but I will look at my chat room and read off names and do as best I can to hear some of the things that you may be saying. Make sure you subscribe to the program. as well. If you're new to the channel, share this video in your social media, share this video in your community tab if you are a content creator and what have you. I definitely appreciate that. I thank you for coming over. So to get back on topic here, black young men are demonstratized at a very young age at the school level. And like I said, not only are white teachers biased towards black children, but even black teachers are. And in the studies that I was looking at, it was showing that white teachers are less lenient, have less expectations for black young males in particular, black children in particular in school. Whereas when you have black teachers, the studies have laid out that black teachers are a lot harder in terms of staying on top of black students, meaning they don't play games with us. The black teachers will not be as lenient on us because of a lot of reasons. And I grew up this way too, is that they're trying to prepare you because black teachers are culturally conditioned by the society, which has brought upon them what? Racism, bias. It's a hard world out here, right? It's a hard world out here, right? It's a dog eat dog world. So black teachers tend to have their bias when it comes to dealing with black students, because in some sense, they justify their toughness with us. Just like you saw in the Joe Clark story, the Joe Clark, the teacher out there, that famous movie, and he was a real live principal. In our mind, we're preparing our kids for this tough world, a world that's going to eat them up and possibly spit them out if they're not tough enough and that they don't understand reality, that this is not a nice world that we in, that there are some inequities in this society when it comes to race. So I think that's one of the reasons why black teachers in particular tend to be a little bit less lenient on black students, and the white teachers are the black teachers are more lenient or less lenient, and the white teachers are more, because white teachers in the data, and I'm going to put some notes on the screen for you all to see, white teachers for the most part do have less expectations for black students. They do not have high expectations for our kids at all. And there you go. That's a young man right there. These are examples that I wanted to put up on the screen of young black males. And this is the age. Joanna Akufu, who I'm going to put a video up, he said that one of the mistakes that we make, ladies and gentlemen, is that we actually believe that when our kids are very, very young, that's when they need the most attention. In his book, I think he came out with the destruction, the conspiracy to destroy the black male. He talked about when the black male begins to move into the 12 years old, he said fourth grade, when our young men get into the fourth grade, on up to junior high school, that's when they need the most of our attention, because that's when they are influenced by their peer groups. And he said back in the 70s and the 80s, one of the things that influenced the black family, and particularly when it came to young black males, is the fact that young black males were influenced by not only their peer groups, but you were influenced by your religion, household chores, expectations from your grandmother, your father, the church, as I said before, the community, the men in that community that held you accountable. And so that was one of the areas. And then he also mentioned television. So there's television, there's their peer group, right? There's the father, the household, the church, the spirituality, all those different things that encompass within the black community. And here we have a young black male here on this picture. And I'm illustrating these pictures with young black men is because we as black men in particular, I'm not going to set up here and put all the blame on black women, because black women cannot raise black men to be men in the truest sense. Young black men, as Dr. Joanna Kukufu spoke in a video that I'm going to show you, is that how can a young black male know what it is to be a man if he does not have someone to mimic, to copy, to mirror, to have an understanding of what it is to be a man, because he doesn't have someone to mirror those values. I'm talking about proper manhood. I'm not talking about people in the community that are walking around like they got a bowel movement with their pants below their behind. I'm talking about proper manhood, where young men can learn those lessons and parables, lessons that only men can teach young black men. And that is a fact. It takes a man to raise a young man as to what is necessary to be a man. Now, I want to be straight up about that reality. Now, I said this, I think, on a stream that I did maybe a week ago. Black women out there, I'm speaking to you right now. If you are a mother of a son, a daughter, or family, and the father is still in the life of your son, your kids, and he's doing everything he can financially, emotionally, spiritually, he is there every step of the way, whether it be teachers, parents, conference, the children's recitals at school, their sports events, every single thing, their medical appointments and what have you, then you can't call yourself a single black mother. You have someone who is playing a dual parenting role. Black women have to get out of this ideology that you are a single black mother if the man is in the life of that child. I'm not talking about the musty and crusty dudes who do nothing for their kids, who don't come around, who not live up to their responsibility. If you're in that situation where the father of your children, or a son or a daughter, is not doing their responsibilities, and you're doing it all by yourself, then quite frankly, you are traditionally could be considered, or no, you are a single mother in a traditional sense. But if you have that other partner who the father may not live with that son, may not be with you anymore, but he is involved 110%, then you can't call yourself a single parent. Like I said a week ago, at one point in time, they said that black boys were living in homes without a father at 70%. Now, Dr. Jawufa stated in this video that I'm going to play you, Joanna, let me just say that correct. He said at that time I think when he did this video, it was back in the 80s, it was at 62% of black boys being without a father in the household, and then it jumped up to 70%. But that has since been a myth, because the Center for Disease Control came out with a study some years ago stating that most black boys have a father, even if the father is not living in the household. Black men are in the lives of their sons. Those that are involved, of course, there are those that are not doing what they're supposed to do. But for the most part, I think it was at 2.7 million black men, somewhere 2.5 million black men are in the lives of their kids. And they also rated black men between, fathers that were Asian, Latino, white, what have you. And they said that black fathers turned out to be the best fathers when it came to be attentive to your kids, attentive to your son, reading to your son, being there for them emotionally and socially. That black men are the most attentive to our kids. So we were ranked the best fathers in America. This is no shade to other people out there, other groups who are fathers, who do a hell of a job every day of their life with raising their kids. I'm just simply telling you these are the facts based on data. The reason why I bring this up is because this is what we need to fight this battle with our kids being attacked in the school systems. We need to, and I'm going to say this, and I don't care how anybody feels about this, on YouTube in particular, we need to get out of this ideology that it's all about being a high value man with money and all, because you were high value when you were born into the world. Your family brought you into the world, and God brought you into the world, and you beat out all the other sperm to get here. You're already high value. If high value is about money, what if you lose all your money tomorrow? What if you lose your cars, your suits, your money, everything you got? Does that mean you're no longer high value? Is high value based on the physical items that you have? Is high value based on how many women that you can conquest with? That's not high value. The most high value thing we can do as men is build family, marry our women that are appropriate for marriage, women that deserve to get married. And not every woman is a queen. You have to properly vet women that you get involved with and have a family with. High value is a man who protects his community, protects his family, raises his family, and brings forth life for the next generations to come. And a man who mentors and transforms his community through the young men that he's able to mentor and build community. Because the responsibility of a man is to be what? To be a person who solves problem, and you lead by example. And I said this just a week ago. So these are the elements that our black boys need in their life, 110%. And especially at this time when we have black young men being attacked. We've been attacked for years and decades, and it continues to fester itself, because what happens is it causes our young men to go straight from school to the prison pipeline. And even in schools today, as you already know, they are already criminalizing young black males in schools, criminalizing our young black males, underestimating them and everything like that. Make sure you subscribe to the show too. So they're doing all these things that are destructive. And I must tell the truth. Tell the truth. All these things that are destructive to the family and to the black man. You take the black man out of the family, make him irrelevant. And how you destroy the black man, we tend to focus on men, but we need to focus on the fact that it all starts at the preschool level, elementary school level, where they begin to try to deconstruct not only the masculinity of black men through deconstructing the masculinity of young black males at that level, but to demonize them, to criminalize them, and prepare them already for the prison industrial complex system.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
And I just want everybody to understand where I'm coming from. And I appreciate everybody that's in the chat room. I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to play a little music and run down the names that are in the chat room right now, just real quick before I continue the presentation, just to give everybody out there some respect. And that's truth. Tell the truth. That is over here taking the time out of their life, out of their family, to spend some time over here and listen to what a brother has to say. And I really appreciate that. So with that said, let me go ahead and do this real quick. And let's get on back to the music. A little bit of this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome everybody in the house. We got Purple Paisley. We got Cheeks in the house. Golden Melanin, Just Being Jazzy's in the house. 1SP is in the house. Appreciate you coming on over here. All right, who else do we have here? We got Natural. We got Zone in the house. What's up, Zone? We got V8. We got 11 in the house. We got Von 11 in the house. DOD in the house. Really appreciate everybody. We got Little Rock 25, 17. We got O and L family. What's going on, O and L family? I appreciate everybody. We got O Reliable in the house. Good to see you back over here again. We got my main man, Underrated Darkness is in the house. Really appreciate you, brother, coming over into the house like that. We got Brittany Dunn in the house. We got Donna Just Being Real, who came through. I hope she's still in there. And man, who else did I miss? Did I miss anybody? Black America Television News and Information is in the house. We got Amy that came in the house. Peace to you, Amy. Tawana's in the house, and I'm glad to see everybody over here. We got Hawk that came in the house. Miss Brown is in the house. We got Miss B-Town is in the house, if I'm saying that correct. Highly Favored is in the house. Golden Melanin, and I love it. I love it, everybody. I love it. Thank you all. Clap for you. All right. I just wanted to read off those are the good folks that have come in to give everybody the respect that they are deserving and that they are due. I really appreciate the folks that come over and support me and support the show and are a part of this family. And I think everybody out there needs to realize that don't you think it's crazy when you have content creators who don't acknowledge people in their audience and they just talk but never acknowledge you? And I think that's crazy. I try to do the best I can to acknowledge people. But when I get going like I do, I got to stay focused on the task. So it's not necessary that I don't want to recognize people in the chat room. But when I get going, I just want to stay in that flow. So what I want to do right now as I get started, I'm going to put a slide up here that I think everybody could appreciate what I'm about to show you. And let me go back over here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to read some numbers to you. Once again, here is a young man, and we as black men, we have to be responsible for raising the community. That is facts. Now, this is what I want to read to everybody. This is very important. And let me go down here. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the research that I'm talking about. The researcher showed, these are studies that came out of Yale University. These are studies in which they went into Boston University. These are studies in which they went into actually educational environments with teachers. They observed the teachers' behavior towards the kids, particularly black kids versus white kids and other students of other races. And right here, as you can see on the screen, the research shows that 135 teachers, a video of 4 children playing a black boy and a girl and a white boy and a girl, and asked them to look for potential problematic behavior. So let me, once again, I'm going to read that off again, because this is exactly very important. Now, once again, the researchers showed 135 teachers a video of 4 children playing. One, a black boy, a black girl, and a white boy and white girl, and asked them to look for potential problematic behaviors. Here's the catch, though. There was no challenging behavior in any of the videos. So they just did this study. They didn't do anything to bias the study. And out of this is what happened. The lead researcher, Walter Gilman, said that the deception was necessary to get the most accurate information about implicit bias in preschool classrooms, ladies and gentlemen. Most people are unaware of their implicit bias, which are often self-conscious stereotypes. So like I said, we're all culturally conditioned. We all have these stereotypes that we carry with us through living in America, being inundated with images, music, all these different messages that tell us different things. And then we see who we are in the world by how the world treats us. And then we also have to keep in mind that there's also a level of classism, what class you come from and what you're associated with, that people look at as well. But black people, we've been associated with being discriminated against racially and class-wise. That affects decisions and behavior. So when teachers are in a classroom with young students like this, this really, in a nutshell, affects the way they look at young black males and as well as young black females. And when I was in college, we had this term called value free. Can you, with the lens of your eyes, look at the world, look at other people with a value free perspective? And I'm here to tell you, it's very difficult to do that. We all bring with us our own prejudices and our own judgments, our own values, whether it be religious values, conservative values, liberal values, and how we judge other people in our environment and even outside of our environment. Okay, so here's another one I want to put up here and have you, I'm going to read to everybody, and it won't take me long to get through this. Using eye tracking technology. So during this study, they use this technology to track the eyes of the teachers to see how they respond to each kid. So using eye tracking technology, the researchers found that the teachers, both white and black, spent much more time watching black children, particularly black boys. It was exactly what Gilman team expected during this research to find based on preschool disciplinarian rates. And like I said before, black people, black teachers tend to be a little bit more disciplinarian with black students. And I think a lot of it is cultural based on what black people have gone through in this society. Think about it. During slavery time, black people were put under the trauma, the PTSD of slavery, when they would watch black people be whipped with whips, when they would see black men and black women being tortured or being mistreated by the master on the slave plantation. And what happens is you begin to have what they call Stockholm syndrome, where you will begin to identify yourself with the person that is oppressing you, ladies and gentlemen, or that has oppressed you. You begin to identify with that oppressor, and you will begin to project the same behavior onto your own family. And some say that could be one of the reasons why within the black family structure, where you have black family members who believe in spanking and not sparing the rod on the child and what have you. And some of us have grown up, especially if you are a Generation X or a baby boomer, where your parents, they spanked you. And I'm being light about it. We all heard the word, I brought you in this world and I can take you out of this world. So some of that behavior that our parents did, they thought they were loving us and raising us to keep us out of trouble, and the harsh discipline is because some of that is kin to being on the slave plantation, where we were inundated psychologically with the beatings and the whips and all those sort of things that were going on that we've read in history. So I'm saying that this is psychology. I work in psychology. This is psychology. There's a thing called projection and counter projection. Projection is when you project on the other people that which is what you're hurting yourself. Whatever it is about yourself, you project on other people, like you blame other people for your shortcomings when it's really your fault. Countertransference is when you, let's say you see someone and they remind you of an uncle, a mother, a brother, or someone who might have treated you poorly or might have treated you well. And like Les Brown said, the motivational speaker himself, that negative experiences that we grow up with have 20 times or 10 times the power than the positive. You always can remember what happened to you when you grew up, whether it be in school, all the negative stuff, you're going to remember that. You can recall it, you can recite it, because negative experiences really bond with us that much more tighter. And this is why this is dangerous for our kids, because in school, they are already being stereotyped. They're already being labeled as hyperactive. And now our kids grow up and they will internalize this ideology and feel that they're bad. Like anytime you hear kids saying, I'm bad, we should stop letting our kids say things like, I'm bad, right? I've seen kids say this, I'm bad, I'm tough. Or they'll say that they're bad. They'll say, I'm a troublemaker, I'm this and that. We should not let our kids say that kind of stuff. And you have to wonder, where are they getting it from? Are they internalizing how they feel about themselves and how they're being treated at school and how teachers, particularly white teachers, see them? And you have black teachers that will be less tolerant of their behavior, because black teachers, in the most part, they want us to be successful. They love us. And black children were doing a hell of a lot better in school prior to busing and prior to us being integrated into this society. Once black kids start going to quote unquote white schools and being bused, that's when the educational system became a disaster and became a nightmare for black children, and particularly for black males. Okay, let me go into this next slider right here and put this up on the screen. Right there, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, and it says it very clearly, as you can see, a total of 42%, all total 42% of the teachers. So 42% of the teachers that were in this study, of all the teachers, believed that the black boy needed the most attention, while 34% indicated that the white boy needed the attention, while 13% identified the white girl, and only 10% chose black girls as of needing the most attention. So therefore, once again, when it comes to our kids being in these schools, there is so much attention being paid to our kids, particularly to black young men. There's something about the young black male that this society is very afraid of, that is very concerning to them, and they do everything to break us down. I remember when I was in school, I wanted to go into computer programming. I was a musician. I played violin since I was about 10 years old, classical violin. And they would do everything to steer me away from those type of classes that would prepare me for college. They steered me away from my musical talent class, my classes that I had, from my musical talent to develop. They steered me away from computer classes when I wanted to go into computers. They tend to steer young black males away from courses and educational requirements that could really be a benefit to us long term. Because like I said, there is really low expectations for black males and black children, black young ladies as well. But I'm talking about black males tonight because black males are the most attacked, the most demonized in the school systems. Let me put this up on the screen and read this to you too. Now, this was under the federal education data. This is federal education data. Remember I said they did a study with Yale University, but then you had the Federal Education Department who looked at some data on this. And that data revealed that in June, this study took place a couple years ago, so just bear with it. In June, that black preschoolers are about 3.6 times more likely to be suspended from school than their white counterpart, though black children make up only 19% of preschool students nationwide, ladies and gentlemen. And that number might be a little bit higher now because this study was done just a couple of years ago. Preschoolers nationwide, they account, check this out, black kids in preschool account, particularly black males, but black children in general, black kids across the board account for 47% of out of school suspensions, ladies and gentlemen. Can you believe that?
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Tell the truth.
Out of school suspension in comparison to white children representing 41% of preschoolers and at 28% of those white students that are sent out of school, that are moved out of school for out of school suspension. And another thing that happens in our society, and let me finish reading this, the doctor, the psychologist that did this study, Gilliam, said his findings indicate that preschool teachers may hold different expectations for students based on their race, ladies and gentlemen. Based on race, ladies and gentlemen. I got to tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
And so what it makes me really think about this, because I think about my own childhood and some of the things that happened to me in school, and now it all makes sense. One of the things I always remembered is that when they look at black young males in particular, and females, like I said earlier, they don't look at you based on your age. They look at you as being older than your age, and then they treat you according to that. Not only this, what I notice is that when young white males are engaged in mischief and aggressive and destructive behavior, we live in a society that historically has deemed the destructive behavior of young white males as just youthful exuberance. He's just a misunderstood youth. He's a misunderstood adolescent. He'll grow out of it. When young black males are perceived in this way, whether we are or not, we are criminalized at an early age. We are handcuffed at an early age. When you go to some of the schools in urban settings across this country, whether it be in New York or Chicago, some of the urban settings, and I know in these urban settings you've had violence in some of these particular areas. I think it's a shame that when young black males and young black ladies go to school, you go to school and they got to put you through a metal detector. They're checking your pockets. They're already culturally conditioning you to be comfortable with being frisked, mistreated, and touched as if you've already committed a crime, getting you prepared through training wheels for when you have to deal with the police on the street who will pat you down, put their hands in your pocket, tell you to, what are you doing? Take that out of your pocket. What are you doing? Do you have a gun? I see you putting your hands near your waist. That's a buzzword that the police use all the time when they want to lie and say you had a gun.
Tell the truth.
So our kids are being culturally conditioned by this if they're going to schools in environments where they have metal detectors, everything is caged up. You've got bars on the windows. You're already setting the ideology of incarceration. Remember years and years ago when they had high-towered projects and they did studies about how projects are almost designed like being in a prison. They built these projects, they made them really small with small windows, small space. You pack everybody in, and when you pack everybody in, these are psychological studies that have proven this out. You can do the research. I've looked at this. Those psychological studies prove out that people, when they're packed in like an animal in a small setting, living in a building like that, it brings out aggressive behavior. You set the stage for them to be criminalized, to think like a criminal, to act like a criminal, because you create an environment that mimics and reinforces as if they are incarcerated, as if they are in the penitentiary. That's facts. That's true.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Thank you for definitely being a part of this program today. I hope that you definitely can continue being a part of this program today. So let me go back at it again. Let me go over to this area of the program and let me go right back in here. And once again, let me put this back up here with the young man. And let me go over here. This is what I want you all to see this right now and see this immediately. Now, the professor who did this study, Gilman, said this is an indicator that white teachers have lower behavioral expectations of black students, while black teachers hold, as I had said before, ladies and gentlemen,
tell the truth,
hold black children to a higher standard than white children. I say it again. Black teachers hold black students to a higher standard than black teachers. And we know what that is. It's cultural. We know that we live in a world where our parents before us, their parents before them, our uncles and our grandparents and our teachers who come from our communities, they know that it's hard out here for black people. So they feel that they have to be 10 times harder on you for you to be able to make it in this dog-eat world, in a world that does not give a damn about you as a black person, a black woman, a black man, and that they feel that they need you to step up. And remember, how many of you in the chat room, you can put a 1 in the chat room if you like, how many of you in the chat room right now grew up and either your father said this to you or your mother or your grandfather, your grandmother, or your family said this to you? I know this is something that a lot of fathers have said to sons, that you've got to be 10 times better than your white counterpart. When you go to school, when you go to college, when you go to work, boy, you got to be 10 times, 20 times better than your white counterpart.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
And that's truth.
Tell the truth.
You got to be 10 times better. Now, you can say that that's good because it motivates us, but it also can be seen as bad. And I'm going to tell you why it could be seen as bad, because of the fact that what it does is that you're already setting your son up and your child up to think that white people are better than them, that white girls and white boys in comparison to black girls and young black males, you're already putting in the mind of your child psychologically, even though you're trying to motivate them, you're already putting in their mind in a certain way that white people are better than them, because the child's wondering, well, why is it that I got to be 10 times or 20 times better than them, when for the most part, when our kids go to school, kids don't learn a lot of this racism. When you're a baby, you don't know anything about racism. Racism is a social conditioning. When I was in college at San Francisco State University, I took a child development course, and we had to sit in seats, and they had a preschool there, and they had glass. The kids couldn't see us. We had to take our notes, and part of my assignment, our assignment was to observe the children in their play. And there were black kids, white kids. And what I noticed, when kids are little, before they're socialized, they don't have the concept of black, you're black, I'm white, what have you. They might fight over toys and things of that nature, fight over that type of resource. But for the most part, they don't have this sense. It's only until kids get older and older, and they begin to get socialized by the poison of this American society that will socialize you, that they begin to recognize race and wealth and class. They begin to understand that Johnny's got more toys than me. Johnny's got better clothes than me. Johnny seems to get treated better than me. The teacher is serving him before he served my graham crackers. Remember that video just a year ago where they had the black kids and white kids in a preschool, and the black kids in the school were being served their food last. The white kids were getting their graham crackers. They were serving all the white kids. That's truth, ladies and gentlemen.
Tell the truth.
That is truth. All the white kids were getting fed their snacks. All the black kids were sitting there and had not even been fed yet. They didn't do it in an even way. It was obvious that they were favoring biasly the white kids. So see, this is the sort of, so our kids grow up and they begin, as they grow older, to recognize that, wow, there's something different about what that kid gets compared to me. That kid that's white, or that kid I'm getting treated differently. Then your child grows up in the school system, and this is what they do to black kids. This has happened. How many of you have had this happen to you? You have a white teacher, a Karen, as I talked about before on the Information Man Speaks podcast. Make sure y'all check that out. I go live over there almost every other night during the week. And any of my mods in the chat room, drop the second channel in there. Subscribe to that channel. I talked about how you got these Karen teachers who are on the front lines of mistreating our kids. And you got these Karen teachers in the classroom who do not like black folks. And when a black young man is perceived to be not behaving properly, what do? They tell you to turn around and go to the corner. Turn your face around and look at the corner. That's abuse. Or they would turn your desk around to the wall, let you look at a wall. And then people wonder why black people, particularly black males, have a chip on our shoulder, and we grow up and we say we don't like certain people. I had that happen to me in school. They make you sit in a corner, turn around, turn your desk around, isolate you away from all the other students. This is the mistreatment that black students get in the school system in America. Then they will try to make sure that they hurt your educational acumen by putting you in special ed classes, which are basically classes where you're with other kids who have behavior problems when you don't even have a behavior problem legitimately. So now you're in a classroom with a bunch of other kids in there that are complete buffoons and out of control. And you're saying, I don't belong in this. And then they're giving you inferior education. Therefore, making it difficult for you to matriculate to college, to matriculate into leaving high school and preparing yourself for life. These are the things that they do to stop black males in particular. I'm not saying that they don't do things to impact black females, but black males are the target because black males represent what? The ability to produce life, the ability to make love to a beautiful young black lady and to have a family and to be the leader of that family and to raise strong black young male and female children. Without that black male in that household, now you dilute the black family, you destroy the black family, and you now break it down under these systems called white supremacy, racism, all those things that go on. Neely Fuller Jr. said these things before. Let me go back into this area again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm almost finished with going through my slides, so bear with me. I appreciate everybody in the chat room. We got Back to the Basics. We got K in the house. We got Mr. 1950. Is that? Oh, that's DOD in there. And we got let me see. We got Voodoo in the house. We got Trailer Hood in the house. What's going on? We got Purple Paisley. Again, my man, the Hawk, is in there. Golden Melanin. I'm just checking a few things out in the chat room. We got Cheeks in the house. I appreciate everybody that's still here rocking with a brother right now. Let me break this down. This is classroom today, folks. This is the classroom. Lessons to be learned. Lessons to be learned. And that is the truth.
Tell the truth.
So what happens, ladies and gentlemen, and I must put this other slide. I'm gonna put this other slide back up here. I didn't finish reading this part of it. So black teachers also pay significant more attention to black boys and recommend harsher punishments when they are misbehaving. And so, like I said, remember I said that a lot of that comes from cultural conditioning. Black people, because of our unique experience in America as it relates to the slave plantation, where many of our ancestors were beaten and mistreated, we begin to project that same behavior, like Stockholm Syndrome, by identifying with your enemy and what they did to you. And we do this to ourselves right on up to today. And we do it in forms like a teacher who feels that I'm going to punish the black student a little bit more. Now, once again, it's a dual situation. It's a dual ideology of thinking, because that black teacher is truly in their mind feeling that they love you, they want the best for you, and they're being hard on you. It's called tough love. And we say a lot of that in the black community. I'm going to give you tough love. It's going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt you.
Tell the truth.
And we do that because, once again, as I said before, we know that this is not an easy-go-lucky world that we live in at all. And we want to prepare our kids for all that they may encounter in this society. And this is a harsh society that we live in. Life is not fair. The society that we live in is not fair. Let me go back. Let me go to this one right here. I'm going to go right through this quickly, but to the point. Let me go right in here and put this back up here. I'm going to take this off the screen so I can see a little bit better. Okay, here we go. Black boys as young as 10 may not be viewed in the same light of childhood innocence as their white peers, but are instead more likely to be mistaken as older. Remember, I said that earlier in the presentation today. They're mistaken to be older and to be perceived as guilty and face police violence if accused of a crime, according to new research published by the American Psychological Association, folks.
Tell the truth.
I'm telling y'all the truth. This has been studied. This has been studied, ladies and gentlemen. I would not kid you. I would not BS you. Now, right here, this is very important. Research. This is a research that they did where they tested police officers. You want to know why? As I said before, why is it that black men are mishandled by the police and are seen as demonstrative. This is a statistic. You can look it up. Black men are 3 times, damn near 5 times more likely to be shot unarmed. I think it's 3 times more likely to 5 times more likely to be shot unarmed by police in this country we call America. And the reason why this is a fact is because researchers tested about 176 police officers, mostly white males of the average age of 37, in large urban areas in this country, determining that their level of there's 2 distinct types of bias. There's prejudice and unconscious dehumanization of black people by comparing them to apes. That has happened where they have compared us to apes. You even had a police department in Florida where they were using black men's pictures as target practice. Remember that, ladies and gentlemen? You had stop and frisks in New York City, right, where they were stopping black men for drugs and guns. But it turned out that there were more white men and more young white males walking around who had the drugs and the guns.
Tell the truth.
Okay. Research had officers completing psychological questionnaires. So they do this research that they did. They had the officers take a psychological questionnaire, and through that questionnaire, they were able to solicit this type of information, ladies and gentlemen. Let me move on to the third to the last of my sliders. Almost finished here. Research reveals this, ladies and gentlemen. Please listen to this. Researchers reveal this tad bit of information, and that is police officers personnel records. Police officers' personnel records to determine use of force while on duty, and found that those who dehumanized blacks were more likely to have used force against black children in custody.
Tell the truth.
This is where it all starts. Like I said, it starts with young black males as children. If police officers, particularly white police officers, have negative experiences with young black children at early ages, statistics have shown that they usually tend to be the ones that are the most likely to use police brutality towards children when they're in custody, teenagers and black males when in custody. These officers who did not dehumanize, now check this out. They're likely to have used force against black children in custody than officers who did not dehumanize blacks. Check this out. The study described the use of force as taking down or wrist locks, kicking or punching, striking with a blunt object like a billy club, use of a police dog. They've always put dogs on us. You can go all the way back to the 60s and 50s and 70s. They always put the dogs on us. The German Shepherds. That's why when Muhammad Ali went to Zaire to fight George Foreman brought a German Shepherd dog to Zaire, and the people hated him for that because the Belgians used dogs, particularly the German Shepherd dog, to sick and to bite and to attack black people. And they did the same thing to black people during the civil rights movement. That's why I would never invest in a German Shepherd dog. That's just me.
Tell the truth.
There's a psychological pattern and a psychological path to that. That's just a fact. I know it's a dog, and dogs can be trained to do things. It's not the dogs that do it. It's the humans that make them do it. I totally get it. But that is the history. They've used police dogs. They've used restraints. All right. They'll use tear gas. They'll jump on your back and put pressure on you, put a knee in your neck like they did when they killed George Floyd.
Tell the truth.
Electric shock or outright killing you like they did Eric Garner when they choked him out in New York, like they did George Floyd when they killed him. Orlando Castillo, who was telling the officer that he was going to give him his wallet. And he said, "Officer, I also have a weapon in an open state to have a weapon, and I have a license. I want to show you." And Orlando Castillo got shot and killed. Walter Scott in South Carolina was stopped on a routine stop because he owed child support. He got scared and ran from the police officer, and the police officer shot him in the back. We all saw that on video. That's true.
Tell the truth.
That's the truth. Now I want to continue this here. So they will either kill you or they will only dehumanize you and not police officers' prejudice against blacks. Conscious or not, it was linked to violence encounters with black children in custody according to the study. So the bottom line is when white cops in particular have bad encounters or negative experiences with black children, either at the high school level, elementary school level, or preschool level, those police officers are more likely to use deadly force against you as a man, whether it be restraining you, putting you in a chokehold, putting a knee in your neck like George Floyd in Minnesota, putting you in wrist restraints and doing you some serious harm. Because this is where it all starts, ladies and gentlemen, in my analysis tonight, ladies and gentlemen. If I'm correct, put a 1 in the chat room. If you know if I'm telling the truth and I'm telling the truth,
Tell the truth.
Come on, let me know that you digging and you understanding what I'm saying. This is the analysis. This is why we have the problems that we have. Excuse me, my voice is getting a little gritty. Let me have a little bit of water, and while I do that, here is a little music for your listening pleasure.
Tell the truth.
I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your patience, ladies and gentlemen. I really appreciate it. My throat was getting a little graspy, so I had to get some water there. So thank you for bearing with me there. Just a little mini break. And I appreciate everybody that's come in the house. We got DOD, RY's in the house. We got Jasmine Virgo. We got Sister Afro, I believe, is in there too. Golden Melanin. We got Brother Zone in the house. I'm just looking at my other computer over here, just keeping an eye. Once again, I'm not using StreamYards, or I would be putting your names up. We got Six Figure Dave's in the house. Wow, it's been a minute, Six Figure Dave. Where you been? We got my man Old Hid Deuce in the house, which I appreciate. Nagoon 11 is in the house. Man, all these great folks in the house. We got Guy Nollywood Jr. Ooh, I feel like I'm losing my voice, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm hanging in there. Guy Nollywood Jr., man, tell me, brother, am I speaking truth up here? Oh, I am my voice is cracking. Am I speaking truth up here, brother? Let me know. Let me know. Boy, I'm gonna have to continue before I lose my voice up here. I don't want to lose it, but it looks like I may. Let me have a little bit of more drink of champions, H2O. So let me get right back into where I was at. So, man, that's the enemy's trying to stop me, So let me see. Did I go over this one? Research. Okay, I did that one already. Okay, this is second to the last one I'm doing right here. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, police officers in this country unconsciously dehumanize blacks. Now, let me take something off of here. I got to be able to read this completely without anything. There we go. Police officers' unconscious dehumanization of blacks could have been the result of negative interaction with black children rather than the cause of using force with black children. There is evidence that overly reinstating the age, overinflating the age, over-exaggerating the age of young black males' age, and the culpability based on racial differences was linked to dehumanizing stereotypes. So therefore, if you grow up in this society and you have stereotypes about young black children, and you grow up under that type of belief system, then you're more likely to carry that type of stereotypal thinking with you, and carry that type of cultural conditioning with you, in which you can project on black children. And as those children grow up into adulthood, you project it on them in their adulthood. And now you take it to the next level, where now you take a billy club, you tear gas them, you pepper them, you mistreat them, and what have you, because psychologically you have had no respect for our community, and stereotypes is what permeates through the system. And those stereotypes is what people carry with them. And we all have prejudice. The difference between prejudice is that prejudice is a preconceived notion. For example, if I don't like people who wear red shoes or blue shoes, or they wear their hair a certain way, I have a prejudice against people who wear red shoes. Racism is a power dynamic in which those that are in power, that control banking, economics, housing, law, labor, economics, education in this country, control the military, those that are in power that control corporations, they now have the power to say, not only do they not like you, but I can also keep you out of housing, out of education, out of schools, out of proper jobs, out of health care. We can do everything we can to systematically keep you out of mainstream America, in which you gain a benefit and a growth for your own community. So now we'll isolate you. That's racism equals white supremacy. That's what it is. It's a power dynamic. So when people tell you that, oh, black people are reverse racist, it's laughable. It makes me laugh to my ear, because that's not true. Black people have the ability not to like someone of other races, yes. But do we have the ability to keep them out of schools, out of housing, out of institutions of learning, institution of education? Do we have the ability to say we want to redline them, make sure they don't get a job opportunity? We don't have that ability, because we don't control any of the institutions of economic power, institutions of control. We don't have those dynamics. We might have a few rich black people running around here like LeBron James and people like Tyler Perry, who are athletes and entertainers, but they have power within that small realm that they control, but they do not have power that controls the society and makes the world go round. And when I say makes the world go round, I mean it. I mean it literally and figuratively. Make that world go round, baby. And I'm telling the truth, and you know I'm telling the goddamn truth.
Tell the truth.
Now, let me go back into my last slider here for tonight. And this one, I'm going to take something once again, take all the fancy smancy things I've got on the screen and put this right there. I want to be able to read the whole thing. This is the last thing that I want you to to listen to. And this is important when I talk about the Karens in the school, the teachers, the white teachers in the school. They're on the front line of administrating the first steps of this bias, this racial mistreatment of black students. This was a study in which they looked at teachers. They looked at white women who are in the universities, right, who are looking to be teachers, looking to be educators. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well, ladies and gentlemen. It won't hurt you. That's right. So what they did, ladies and gentlemen, they did a study. This study involved 264 mostly white females, undergraduate students from large public United States universities. The students were also shown photographs alongside descriptions of various crimes and asked to assess the age and the innocence of white, black, or Latino boys aged 10 to 17. The students overwhelmingly and they overestimated the age, just as cops do. That's what I meant to say before. The police underestimate and overestimate the age of black boys, but these students overestimated the age of black boys by an average of 4.5 years and found them more culpable than whites or Latinos, particularly when boys were matched with serious crimes. The study found that research was used by using questionnaires to assess the participants and their prejudice and their dehumanization of black people, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I'm saying tonight. That's what I'm talking about tonight, ladies and gentlemen. That is the truth.
Tell the truth.
That is the truth, ladies and gentlemen. That is the truth, written in stone, written in truthful. These are examples, among many other examples, of why we have the problems that we have in this country as it relates to black men and black females, particularly black men being mistreated. It starts when we're just little kids, and the bias and the racial bias and the mischaracterization of us starts very young. First, they overestimate how old we are. Two, they look when we get into some kind of mischief or we have some kind of problems in school, they look at us as older than what we are, and they are less willing to give us the benefit of the doubt as they do our whiter counterparts in other groups. This is facts. This is truth. Cannot be denied. Now, the question you would say after I said all this, info man, what are the solutions? I have the solutions, and the solutions are very clear. I'm going to show you a video from Dr. Joanna Jawufu. I can never say his last name properly, but Joanna is the first name. I'm going to show you that video last to put a crescendo on tonight's program. But the solution is that we as black men need to be leaders and get involved with mentorship and get involved in an organization, just like I said a week ago. Get involved in a fraternal organization. If you are a member of fraternity and sorority, fraternity in particular, get involved in 100 Black Men, get involved in Prince Hall Masons, get involved in some type of black male organization in your community. And give me 1 minute, folks. I'll be right back in just a moment. A little bit of music for your listening pleasure. I'm going to take care of something for my young one real quick, and I'll be right back to finish this off. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. All right, I'm back. So what I was saying is that the only way that we can fix these problems is that you got to join an organization. You can do it collectively with other black men to mentor, to help young black males. There's Big Brothers and Big Sisters programs. Any organization, I don't care if it's a grassroots organization or a national organization that is in the business of working with young black males. If there's a brother in your community that's doing tutoring and working with our young man in the community, join those kind of programs. If there are community centers in the community that are producing what we call rites of passage programs that is geared towards helping young black males gain confidence in themselves, join that community center. Do what you can. If you can't physically get involved, and I say this all the time, then why don't you donate to a black organization that does the work that you may not be able to do yourself? I'm losing my voice, ladies and gentlemen. What I want to do is show you someone who I think is just as such man. I'm going to show you two brothers that I rock with on YouTube. And you all know who these brothers are. And I would have to say the first brother is got to be my man. I'm going to give him a big clap. And that's my man, Q Butter. My brother, Q Butter. I got to give him a clap. Brother Q Butter. That's right. Q Butter of the Zion Institute. What is Q Butter doing at the Zion Institute? You can even support that institute. Check it out. Be a part of it. On his website, Brother Q Butter says, get to know who we are, our vision. The vision of Zion Institute is a platform for people of African descent to receive strategies, lifelong education that will foster the development of critical thinkers who are prepared to lead our communities to prosperity. Okay? You have a lot of brothers. Lord Jamal is a supporter of this. A lot of people are supporting what the brother's program is all about. That's Q Butter. His mission. It isn't where you are from. It is where you're going that counts. That's Q Butter. That's Ella Fitzgerald who he quoted that from. And Q Butter's website says this as far as their mission. We recognize that the application process might seem challenging. Selecting the right undergrads or graduate program is an important decision. Our mission is as a team is to be available to help you navigate this critical journey and make the choice that will affect your intellect and create potential in profound way. And the goal of his program is to primarily work with black children. That's my brother Q Butter. Check out his program. He's in Brooklyn. Check it out. Let's give him a clap. Q Butter. I love him. The Q Butter, the Zion Institute. I rock with him. I rock with the big boys. That's high value, folks. That's high value. Not how many women you can sleep with, how much money you have, what kind of fancy car you have, and all of that. No, this is high value right here. Q Butter. That's high value. That's right. That's high value. Now, my next brother, who needs no introduction. He is pro-black personified. If you were to look at a dictionary, and Q Butter's the same way as well. But if you were to look at a dictionary under a person who loves his people, who's a pro-black in terms of being down for his people and down for the community, there's no one other than George Macomb and Brother Marvin Butts of the Urban Nerds Worldwide. And what is Urban Nerds Worldwide all about? He has a website, as well he has a nonprofit organization so you can donate and get a tax return. You can go to the urbannerdsworldwide.com, the website. I'm losing my voice, ladies and gentlemen. The Urban Nerds Worldwide is this, the partner. The founder, George Macomb, right on the picture, and partner Marvin Belwell left, started a nonprofit service that helps inner city kids boost their exposure to the world at large so they can compete in the world of science, technology, engineering, math, and other fun nerd categories like video games in the world of cartoons, comic books, and more. This is what George Macomb and Marvin are doing. Okay, support. They have T-shirts that they sell so that you can support their what they're doing, what he's doing with the young youth. He's out of Philadelphia. George Macomb is my brother, doing a lot of great things in the community. There's no doubt. Like I said, you find an organization that you can join. Let me read this about Urban Nerds again. Urban Nerds Worldwide is dedicated to bringing a broad experience to inner city kids when it comes to science, technology, engineering, mathematics, as I had said before. Oh, and they also dabble in STEM as well, and Q Butter as well. In his institution, they engage in STEM training for young men as well. This is how we break the barrier. This is how we do something to stop what's happening. I know for a fact that there are brothers out there in many different organizations, whether it be grassroots organizations that they are members of in college, whether it be fraternal organizations. There are organizations out there. Join an organization that fits your values and who you are, or support an organization that fits your values and your mission. Support them when it comes to doing the work. That's the solution, because you get solutions on my channel.
Tell the truth.
That is the solution to this problem. Therefore, for those black men that are involved with their sons and their daughters, you've got to be involved every step of the way. You've got to go to parent-teacher conferences. You need to look at the environment that your child is in. Are they in the right school? Do they have the right teacher? And what I noticed, because it happened to me when I was in school, when your parents are deeply involved in your education, they tend not to mess with your kid. When they know that you got a father and a mother and an uncle and family members that are up there at that school, every step of the way, when they're trying to do effery to your kid, they think a little bit different when they're dealing with a kid that they know that has a mama and a daddy and an uncle and whoever that don't play no mess. And that's facts.
Tell the truth.
You got to be active in their educational process. So these are examples that either join an organization or support an organization if we want to solve the problems of how young black males are attacked in this society. We need to build them up. We need to support them emotionally, and we need to let our kids know exactly what the world they're getting ready to get into, which is henceforth another reason, besides other reasons that I gave tonight, why you do have teachers who are a little bit more tougher on black students, because they know the world that they're getting ready to grow up into. And so we need to do the same thing to prepare our kids. Your other way that you can solve this problem is, like I said again, black man, build family structures. Vet the right woman in your life and build family structures. And the best thing that we can also do, if you can afford to do it, if you have the expertise, is what about schooling your child? What about creating educational programs at home? We know that the Nation of Islam has its own schools and has been very successful with teaching their children. Therefore, their kids don't have to go to a school and be inundated by the Karen teachers of the world. And they are more than prepared to deal with these knucklehead cops out here who want to knock you upside your head. And that is the truth.
Tell the truth.
You're listening to the Information Man Show.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Go ahead and do that if you can. I definitely would appreciate that so much. That's the bell right there. And that's what it is. I hope everybody in the chat room is doing fine tonight. I'm literally losing my voice here, so I'm definitely going to cut this short. Well, not cut it short, but I'm definitely going to give you my finale video tonight that will make you think about just what I had just said just a few minutes ago. And I want to say this to everybody that's in here right now. I want to say, excuse me, I want to say to you right now, all of you that's in here, like and comment on this video, because I appreciate your support, all the support that I'm getting over here. I get a lot of support, more than I can ever dream of, and I appreciate that. Thank you for watching this video today. Make a comment after the video is over. Share this video on all your social media. Share it with other people. This is a very important video. I'm trying to give you a different style with what I do on the Information Man Show and what I do over on the podcast, the Information Man Speaks podcast, second channel. I go rapid fire over there. Make sure the mods, if you can, drop that link for the second channel into the chat room right now if you can, and I appreciate it. And I want to give all the mods in the chat room and everyone listening a clap as well. Because I really appreciate that a hell of a lot. This has been quite a day for me. And with that said, it's time to go into the video and let the video speak for itself. This is Dr. Joanna Kohufu. I never can say his name. Forgive me, brother. He is the brother who came out with the book years ago when I was just a young man myself, talking about the conspiracy to destroy the black male. And he said some things in this it's an old video, but it still holds true today. He said some things that is relevant to what we're going through today. And what he said that I thought was most caught my attention is that we can't stop paying attention and giving attention to our kids just because they've gotten older. He said that's when things really start to get bad for them. It's when we lay off of them when they get older. Let's hear this brother right now. With that said, let me give you all the musical rendition of where I'm going. And here we go. I'm about to fire up the video.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Tell the truth.
Here it comes, ladies and gentlemen.
Information is power.
Increases. Peer pressure is on the increase, while parental involvement is on a decrease. I don't know who told parents when your child gets older, they need less of your time rather than more. When I speak to Head Start parents, 80% of them are there. Elementary school, 30%. High school, almost a joke. We have to work on that. That's another workshop, too, on parenting all the way through, not just in those quote-unquote tender years. But the major reason, it's not on the board yet. Still looking for it. Yes. Go in.
I think, too, that young boys, and particularly young black boys, in the primary grades, they have many mother figures, and they have very few men figures, and particularly black male figures. And I think it makes a big difference come grade 4.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think it's the major reason. And let me now give my first position. I sincerely believe that only men can make boys men. Now, don't misquote me. I didn't say that a single female parent or female teacher cannot rear or educate her child. But she need not do that by herself. When she calls upon her father, her brother, an uncle, a male neighbor, a nephew, a co-worker, there needs to be some men in our children's lives. I want you to explain to me how a boy is going to grow up to be a man if he's never seen any. In order to be anything, you must see it first. Remember in the earlier workshop, and I'll go through this very quickly, from the University of Michigan, we wanted to find out what the major influence on children. We said 1950, it was home, school, church, peer group, and television. And then we gave you 1980, home was still number 1. Peer group in the number 2 position, television 3, school dropped down to number 4, church last on the list. Let's go back to my statement. My statement said that only men can make boys men. Now let's see where black boys are going to find men.
Tell the truth.
Let's first of all look at his home. 62% of all black children live in a single-run household. It's a very good chance he would now find a man here. I'm going to hold off on the streets and drop down to television. Can you name me 5 positive adult black men on television? outside the news. And you can't name Cosby because the show just started. Name me 5.
Outside the news.
Outside the news. And you better not say George Jefferson. So they found
Right.
very few black male role models on television.
Tell the
Now let's
truth.
drop down to the schools. 83% of all elementary school teachers are women. 95% of all teacher aides are women. And when do men teach? After the critical 4th grade, or they're in the upper grade, or they're the PE teacher, the janitor, or the principal. Very few before the 4th grade where black boys need them the most. And lastly, the church. Most young people, men don't go to church. And the reason is we lie to them. First of all, we made Jesus Christ white. The man surely was not white. And we have a book called What Color Was Jesus to explain that. He had hair the texture of wool and feet the color of bronze. But secondly, the Lord's Prayer says on earth as it is in heaven. Young people and men want some act.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Tell the truth.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you, everybody, for hanging in there with my presentation today. I appreciate it. Woo! Let me see who's in the chat room now. All right, we got Six Figure Dave's in the house. We got Jasmine Virgo in the house. Golden Melanin in the house. IQ's World. Good to see you over here, Sister Keith. Brother Keith is in the house. Back to the basics. Purple Paisley. We got Yo, it's your boy, Leo. What's going on? Tanya's in the house. She says, just got off the phone with my mom. I'm late. I'm here. We'll certainly watch the replay. Thank you. Purple Paisley's in the house. My man Hawk is in the house. Got the incredible Hawk logo. That's what I keep calling. I call him Hawk. We got Truth Sector 2.0. My mom showed me this in 1998. The Dr. Joanna. Hey, that was powerful. Black to the basics. RY says, I agree. Men create boys as a woman has never. Yes.
Information is power.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, who else do we have in here? Okay, we got RY, Jasmine Virgo, Back to the Bases, NQ's World. We got Dip in the house, DRIP, if I'm saying that correct. Donna, Just Being Real. All right. Let me answer this nonsense question that was in the chat room. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, somebody must have timed somebody out who asked me a question about whether I was Asian. Talking about answer the question. Last time I checked, my mother is black. My father is black. I've always had these features. And some of it is this because my ancestor was a freeman, meaning I'm a Chickasaw. So I have native ancestry in my bloodstream. Maybe that's the reason why I have high cheekbones or my eyes are this way. But as far as Asian, I'm not Asian whatsoever. That's the end of that. So you ask a question, but you got to be respectful. No, I'm not. I am what I am. And folks over here have been following me for a long time. They know what I am. I'm a little lighter skin, a little browner skin here and there, but we got plenty of black people who have sharp eyes like this. It's because we have native blood in us. We are native people. We are original people, and that's just the bottom line. But instead of getting into all of that nonsense, I want to thank everybody who's come into the chat room to be a part of this program today. I need everybody to share this in your social media, all of it. I mean, all of it. And I need you to share it in your community tab if you are a content creator yourself personally. And everybody out there who's watching the program, who's not in the chat room, thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your Sunday evening, Sunday night, wherever you are in the world. I want to say that I will be back on tomorrow, Monday, with another program on the podcast channel tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. I did drop pretty late last night the one about Lil Nas X. So I want everybody to have a great rest of your evening. I appreciate you all. It's a clap again to all of you out there. And wait a minute, here we go. And do me another favor too, ladies and gentlemen. Do me another favor too, is go ahead and subscribe to the program. You know how I do it over here. Go ahead and hit that bell notification. Bing! And be a new member of the channel, because I would appreciate it. Bing! Be a part of the channel and what we're doing over here on the Information Man Show. Next Sunday, I will be interviewing Mr. 1950, and I will be interviewing other people coming soon. There's so much. I had told people on my second channel that I made contact with brother, the Pastel Show. This brother is deep. I think he's a comedian, an entertainer. I think he's out of Florida, and he has a YouTube channel, and he does commentary. And I was on his channel just a week ago on the Pastel Show. And he's going to be coming on over here. I'm going to be making contact with him on the IG. He told me to IG him. We had a chance to talk live on his platform, and I'm bringing him right over. He's got a big channel, and I'm going to get an interview over here. I'm also somewhere down the line, because I'm going to contact Sister the Real Dana, and I'm cool with the Real Dana. I'm going to be contacting her at some point in time. I've got to get Judge Joe Brown on the show, and I'm going to try to see if I can make this happen. I got my eye on Kwame Brown. He seems to be very open to talking to folks on YouTube and having a dialogue. He's about community. I'm going to try to see if I can get Brother Kwame Brown on the program and have a one-to-one with him too. So it's a lot of things that the Information Man Show is going to attempt to do, try to make happen with time, with effort, and what have you. Definitely, everybody, hit the bell notification, share the video. I can't stop saying that anymore. Go ahead and like the video, and go right ahead and check out the second channel, The Information Man Speaks Podcast. Also, you can also check out my traditional podcast that I'm on. You can find me on Spotify, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google, TuneIn, Stitcher, all of it. And the material that's on those platforms is not what's on the YouTube second channel. It's all different content, guarantee. So thank you again. A clap for everybody. Have a great night. Everybody that's in the chat room, Patila, Sister Afro, thank you for coming over. Brother Nollywood, everybody out there, Brother Keith. I just got a lot of people that's been rocking with me pretty heavy. One thing I hope never to disappoint any of you. I hope to always be honest. Not hope. I want to always be honest, always be front and frank, always keep it real, never talk down to my audience, unless you got someone who comes in the chat room and is unruly and just doesn't know how to conduct himself. Other than that, I respect everybody out there. I'm no better than anybody. We're all on YouTube trying to interact with each other, socially connect with each other. We all do different things, whether it's mukbang. Shout out to all the people in the mudbang. Shout out to the folks that's in the B sector. I know a lot of people in the B sector, even though I don't get into beefing. Shout out to everybody who do sports on YouTube, who do electronic channels, tech channels, health channels, exercise channels, whatever you're into, whatever you do, mukbangs, all that kind of stuff, whatever you do, it's fantastic. Music channels, whatever you do out there, folks, do it at the best of your ability and do it and do it. Take your time and build up your studio and build up what you're doing to improve your channel. In a couple of weeks, I and Sister Vernon Junk Closet, we will be collaborating and doing a show on my channel to tell you, not to tell you, but to give you advice on how to improve your YouTube channel. We're going to go step by step, everything you need to know. And you don't want to miss that show, especially if you are a content creator. And I appreciate everybody out there. I'm going to get ready to go now. I got to do two things. I got to get ready to prepare the meal for my daughter as a father. I got to get ready to drink me some nice hot tea for my throat as I'm losing my voice. And I got to prepare to look at people on YouTube and support other content creators and kick back and relax and enjoy the rest of my evening, as I hope you are too. So once again, share this video. I'm saying this stuff over and over again because this is how, to everybody out there who has a channel, this is how you grow channels. If I go to your channel and you tell me to share the video, I'm going to share the video. This is how you grow channels. This is how you grow an audience, because you got to get the word out. I'm sure all of you in the chat room have family members, friends, people that you know. Tell them about the channel. And therefore, we should do the same for you. Tell people about your channel. And if people check out your channel and they like it, then they'll stick with it. If they don't, YouTube has something for everybody, right? So everybody have a great night. Take care of yourself. And as much as I hate to go, I got to go. And what I'm looking for right now is a particular tune that I want to play. And I need to go up here. Oh, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, take care. Everybody take care of yourself. Peace. Peace. All right.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Tell the truth.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Tell the truth.
Information is power.
Issues, I know I got issues. Hate you, then I miss you again. Selfish. wish I can be so selfish. Spend more time when meeting your friends. Please forgive my attitude. I want my cake and eat it too. But a little grace would be enough for me to prove that, baby, you're the remedy. You're my mirror, I can finally see, bringing out the best in me. Yeah, I don't want no problems, but I know I got a lot of work to do. Baby, I'm not perfect, but I know I'm worth it, working out my issues with you, with you. Crutches, I be holding crutches, can't let go of any mistakes.
Tell the truth.
Distant, sometimes I get distant, stay away as long as it takes. Forgive my attitude.
I want to say thank you to everybody. I really appreciate it today.
Eat it too, but a little time will be enough for me to prove that, baby, you're the remedy. You're my mirror, I can finally see, bringing out the best in me. Yeah, I don't want no problems, but I know I got a lot of work to do. Baby, I'm not perfect, but I know I'm worth it.
Tell the truth.
I didn't get a chance to say what's up, and thank you to DOD. We got Natural in the house, and then we got Viral Drip, I think DRIP in the house. Thank you, folks. Really appreciate you.
I don't see the light of day. Looking into higher ground, thinking that'll be your sweet escape. These days gotta schedule the romance. They say that love is a slow dance. A short bike ride to the crib using no hands. Oh shit, it feel like I'm floating, but I'm falling with both eyes closed when I let the world spin. Testing the water, she got my nerves tense. Back when I ain't even have a purpose, I was so eager to learn some things. Anxiety bring out the worst in me. Society paint me as enemy. My niggas making it by that remedy. I'm more occasional, don't do it regularly. Backs under my eyes, weighing down heavily. Mama been worried, the devil allegedly deep in the plan. Subconsciously wanted it since I was 10. I thought I was sharp on my scroll and my pen think it did. So mama found shit of them legs. She told me that's not who I am, but nowadays I put on for the fam, see her when I can. surrounded by my feelings. I'm stuck in a Ferris wheel. I bet I perish. You want 40 acres. She want the horse and the carriage. A porcelain portion of garbage. I talk to the mirror. I know that life's not the fairest. I lost my count. I can't pay off the bills with the blessing. I sure I relate to the Reddit page. It's feeling like money is everything.